A Fox News alert, Chinese state media says California Governor Gavin Newsom will meet with President Xi Jinping during his trip to Beijing. The governor already met with some top officials amid speculation he's still planning to run for president.
My purpose of the trip is to discuss the issue of low carbon green growth, to talk about strategies, to share ideas and idealism around our transition and our efforts to decarbonize our economy.
California Republicans slamming the governor's trip to California, with Congresswoman Michelle Steele saying, quote, Governor Newsom's effort to cozy up to the Chinese Communist Party is delusional. Fox News contributor and columnist for The Messenger, Joe Concha, only delusional when he thinks his Bears are going to win, but he does join us now.
We
Joe,
did last week.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
We all know what he's doing here. He's trying to appear presidential in case Joe Biden doesn't run. That is obvious. But making nice with the greatest existential threat to the United States of America is a bad way to do it, Joe.
And the funny thing is, he goes over to China, Governor Newsom does, to talk about climate change. Who is the world's #1 polluter?
China. Oh, I got it. China.
Thank you. Yes, there you go. India, Russia, also on that list. He also met with a company that he gave $1.4 billion in taxpayer money to for COVID masks during the pandemic. You remember the masks that he didn't wear during the French Laundry and during the Super Bowl. Yeah, you don't make trips like this unless you think you're in the bullpen awaiting the manager to say, bring in Newsom, Biden out. Because why else would you go there? You want to look like you have international bona fides.
Yeah, am I the only one that thinks this is crazy? He's the governor of California meeting Chinese President Xi Jinping. And on top of that, if he is planning a White House run, I mean, this could absolutely backfire on him. He's playing nice with China and saying that despite the possible geopolitical issues that could take place between the United States and China, he still wants to partner with China on climate change.
Precisely. More people died of COVID in California than any other state in the country. And you're going to go over and make nice with these folks? You think he asked any tough questions about where that...
I wonder how the Biden administration feels about that. And this is an attack ad waiting to happen.
Precisely right. How does Kamala Harris feel about this, right? He's usurping this whole thing. If it isn't for 2024, then it's probably for 2028. Either way, he thinks that his divine destiny is to be president of the United States.
We all use the phrase making nice in that first topic. Speaking of not making nice, watch this. Hillary Clinton heckled over Joe Biden's so-called warmongering. Watch how she responded.
Who is...
Warmongering speech. President Joe Biden is calling for $100 billion of funding for Israel, Taiwan, and Ukraine, and we're supposed to just bundle these together and pretend like we're going to rush to World War III and we're all just going to let Hillary Rodham just sit here. Okay.
I'm sorry. You know, this is not the way to have a conversation. If you want to have a conversation, you're welcome to come talk to me afterwards.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
You're going to wait for me, right?
I will wait for you, and I will listen to you, and I will respond to you. But
respectfully, I do not believe.
Well, that just
the matter is that the American people's voice are what need to be heard.
Yeah, they are being heard.
The president is not speaking for the American people.
Well, that's your opinion. That's your opinion.
Yes, that's my opinion.
Well, then sit down. We've heard your opinion.
Hey, security.
Joe?
I like the sit-down line, but no soup for you would have been better in this situation, right? That's the way you go here. Look, it's just hilarious that Hillary Clinton, during her hippie days, used to be a big-time protester, and now she's being protested, and she didn't like that very much. So it's good to see her finally get challenged in a meaningful way. She never is in interviews. These panels that she goes on, she's never challenged there. But the gentleman had a point that we are now sending billions upon billions of dollars to Ukraine, to Gaza, to Israel, to Taiwan. The world is not a very safe place right now, and we're going down a bad path, and Hillary Clinton didn't like being called out on that.
Well, Jean-Pierre, also there's this, was asked about anti-Semitism 2 days ago now, and she dismissed the question yesterday. She responded to the backlash because she pivoted to talking about Islamophobia. She says she misheard that question. Listen to her here.
What is his level of... When Jews are targeted because of their beliefs or their identity, when Israel is singled out because of anti-Jewish hatred, that is anti-Semitism, and that is unacceptable. There's no place for anti-Semitism, full stop, period.
So in an email to Fox News Digital, she also said, yes, I did mishear the question, as I have foot stomped many times from the podium and on the air. Anti-Semitism is an abomination that this president has fought against his entire life, and I feel strongly about that work. What do you think about all this? Did she mishear
When you
this?
feel strongly about something, Carly, you don't look down at a binder to give a response to a question that you should have answered the proper way on Monday and not one day later. She absolutely heard that question. If we were to play that back, you would see that the room was completely silent. She wasn't, doing that thing your dog does when it can't quite understand what you're saying. She understood it completely. Look, the White House still appears to be trying to appease the worst elements of this party. They want to have it both ways. Strong on Israel, but yeah, we're also sympathetic to XYZ, and that's not a line that you could walk here. There are no two sides to this conflict.
Joe, I mishear things all the time. The crew here can attest, but I've never said the phrase, but look, Muslims and those perceived to be Muslim have endured a disproportionate number of hate-fueled attacks. That's what she said after, quote-unquote, mishearing. There you have it.
Insane.
Also, the president's going to be taking formal questions for the first time since the war started at 12:30 today. So I'm sure there's going to be a lot to talk about with you.
I have a feeling there's going to be a list of reporters on there that he could only call on. I have a feeling also that Peter Doocy or Jackie Heinrich will not be on that
We
list.
shall see. Joe, thank you for joining us.
Bye.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.